All right, I got the Vanity mocked up. It's ready to go to the customer's home. This was a long project. There's still some work to do on the top. It's got to get sanded and buffed, and I'm gonna do like a finish coat on top, so it's a lot easier to clean. Obviously, concrete's porous, so you got to seal those pores. Yeah, so this video is going to show how we got to this point, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we got this far with the Vanity, and it's time for a countertop. And I can't just put any old countertop on it. Of course, I've got to make a concrete countertop. So I've got to go to the store and pick up some material for a mold. So I'm going to be getting some melamine from big box store, either the orange one or the blue one. So I'll go see where I can find some of that crap. Okay, potting mix, not necessary to pour concrete, necessary to make wife happy. We've got to build the form for the concrete countertop. I move that bare, because that's in my way. It's on the table saw, so that'll be fun. 32 degrees in my shop. At least moving the concrete warmed me up. I got a new toy. Picked myself up a fob. It's like looks just like a car fob to open your car, but it's for an outlet. I've noticed that I'm really lazy since I bought that thing and installed it. And if you want to watch the video on, my review, quick review on that thing, it's up on YouTube. I'll leave a link in the description. Yeah, if you're lazy and it's like 20 bucks. Buy one of these things. It's great. How you doing? Let's go over some quick design criteria for the concrete countertop. So the the Vanity is 21 inches, 21 and an eighth. It's going to be butt up to the wall in the back, naturally. I want an overhang on the front of the cabinet, but I also want an overhang on the sides of the cabinet. So typically you do like an inch overhang. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm blabbering. I'm gonna do that on all three sides, so the front and the two sides, and then it would be flush to the back of the cabinet because there doesn't need to be an overhang on the back of the cabinet. You'll see that the form will be cut, and when I put the countertop on, when this cures, there'll be an overhang, and that's intentional. You want that. And also, there'll be a backsplash, so we'll have to pour a small mold or build a small mold and then pour that for the backsplash. You want to hold that in for me? Or are you just going to watch? You're just going to watch? Alright. Alright. 16 and an eighth. So measurement is 62 and an eighth for the length. A quick PSA on this lovely stuff. It's called melamine. Like I said before, big box stores carry it. You could probably get it from a plywood dealer if you want to go that route. This stuff is super sharp. It will cut the crap out of your hands. So I typically do not like to use gloves while I'm operating a table saw, Yeah, I was always told that's a bad idea. If the blade were to catch your hand, it would pull the glove and it would pull your hand into the blade. So that's no good. That's why they say not to use gloves when operating a table saw. In this instance, I am going to use some gloves while I'm cutting this stuff just because it will cut the crap out of it. The edges on these sheets are like cut at the factory and they're not smoothed or anything like that. So the melamine is like almost like Formica, and if you've ever worked with Formica, you really got to ease that edge, and this stuff doesn't have any eased edges, so it will screw your hands up. So I'm going to be wearing gloves. Feel free to light me up in the comments section telling me I shouldn't be wearing gloves using a table saw. I don't want to get my hands all jacked up. And I don't want to get blood on all this beautiful stuff I'm making over here. I don't want to get blood on that. Alright, I had to do some squirrely stuff with the table saw that maybe isn't YouTube safe, so I didn't show any of that, but I got it cut down to the size, length, width, and now we're ready for our sides, like the walls of this form. So we can get the side walls out of the leftover piece from the original cut, the first cut, and then we'll need two longer pieces that we can get from the other piece of melamine. If I had half a brain, I probably could have ripped this a little bit wider to begin with, and then I would have got my rip pieces out of this piece too. That probably would have been smarter. I didn't do that, so yeah, I'll rip the side the pieces, the walls, and then I'll rip the walls from this smaller sheet as well. So and then the form is essentially done, and not a lot more to do. Just got to caulk the sides, put some paste wax in there, or you could use like mold release. They actually make releases for concrete, but I'm just going to use paste wax. Another note, or another thing to take note of. The countertop is going to be 2 inches thick. This material is 3/4 of an inch thick, so we need to cut our walls at 2 3/4 inches, and that'll give us 3/4 inside the mold. And then we use the top of the mold to screed off the top, which will actually be the bottom of your concrete countertop. The part facing or touching the mold is your top of the concrete countertop. You use this material, this melamine, because it keeps everything really smooth. So it gives it like almost a stone finish. So yeah, since we're doing a 2-inch countertop, 2-inch thick, we'll do our walls at 2 3/4 inch because this is 3/4 inch material. All the pieces are cut out, and now we can talk about how we're going to assemble this thing. Cabinet screws. So these are like the Spax cabinet screws. I like these because they have that flat head on top. It'll pull that wall material into the bottom of the form. We're gonna caulk everything anyways, but yeah, trying to get that as tight as possible, and these screws will definitely do that. I'm going to pre-drill in the walls, and then I'll just drive these screws into the bottom of the form. And like I said, everything will get caulked as well. Make sure it's watertight and paste waxed so that it releases from the mold easily. Yeah, let's start putting these things together. Alright, so we got the molds finished. The foam is in place for the knockouts. There's a knockout for the sink. And then there's a knockout for the plumbing that's going to go through the countertop into the, the cabinet below. And then I caulked everything with silicone, just to make sure that nothing leaks out of the. It helps round over the edges too, but really to make sure like the water from the concrete doesn't get out of this form. And we're ready to start mixing concrete. We let the silicone dry, and now we can start filling it. All right. Hard to see maybe a little bit just because of the light in here, but we got the concrete poured into the forms. I made sure I went around it, hit it with the mallet a bunch of times, try to get all those air bubbles out, trying to make sure that the surface at the bottom is going to be smooth because that's going to be the finished countertop. And then I'll just keep going through here every 10-15 minutes, going around with the mallet, knocking it, trying to get those air bubbles out. You don't want to vibrate it too much because then all of the big aggregate will settle to the bottom, and then it could look bad unless that's the look you're going for. But I want this to be a little bit smoother on top. So what's left? I guess we just got to keep screeding off the top, try to get this as flat as I can on the bottom, and then it's going to take about 4 days to cure. So in 4 days, I'll pull these out of the forms and we'll see what they look like. All right, cool. So yeah, like I said, I had to wait a few days on that concrete to dry and cure. It actually took an extra day than I thought it would take just because it's so cold in the shop. While that was curing and setting up, and I was getting ready to apply first coat of finish to that, I started laying out all my drawer pulls. That's what you see me doing here. The drawer banks on the left and the right are getting a single drawer pull in the center. The bottom drawer, the large wide drawer, will be getting 2 drawer pulls, and the door in the center will also be getting 2 drawer pulls to mimic looking like a set of drawers when in fact it's actually just a door for plumbing access. All right, camera died. Probably because it's cold out here. The drawer pulls are on. The hardware for the door is on. Yeah, this is basically done now. Just need to deliver this thing and install it. I do need to cut down the legs actually, so I've got to make those a little bit shorter. Something happened with the tile at the house. I measured it. the floor is up like almost 5/8 or 3/4 of an inch. So they put a real thick mortar bed on that I wasn't expecting. So I'm gonna cut down the cabinet. I'm not gonna make the tile guy redo the tile. So I'm gonna cut down the legs, and that's the only thing that's left to do on here, and that's pretty simple. I just gotta tip the thing over and cut an inch off the legs. So, and then it's just the concrete countertop. I've already measured to make sure that the sink fits. I've already mocked up the faucet hardware, so I know the faucet hardware fits where the sink has to go, and with all of the blocking in the cabinet, and everything fits. So just gotta finish this concrete countertop, wait for this thing to dry, seal it, then we can install.
Yeah, just using the Japanese pull saw to cut the legs down. I ended up taking 1.5 inches off of the bottom of the cabinets. I scored around the cabinet with my dovetail saw, just because there's a thin veneer on the face of that cabinet, and I didn't want to damage that. And then I just make the rest of the cut with the pull saw.
Alright, legs are all cut down now. I've got center marked with an X. I will bore out a small section with a spade bit, and that'll allow me to recess the height adjustable feet. I will adjust at the customer's home, whatever that may be. Like if the floor is off by 3/8 of an inch, we'll have to make that work, or something like that. So hopefully it's not by that much from one side to the other, but I've seen crazy things. So let's drill some holes. Okay, so I got the hole drilled right here, and then I recessed the hole so that the top of the chamfer on top of this little foot, can seat inside that hole. Yeah, so just the bottom profile of the foot will stick out, and I just think that looks better than having the whole foot. It's for me. It's not for the customer. So I'm just trying to make this look pretty. If you were to recess the entire foot into the hole, it would be really hard to get to and adjust it. So yeah, you want to leave some of it exposed so it's easy to get to. Not so much that the thing looks like it's floating off the ground. That would look like poop. Alright, foot's in there, so I'm going to give you a little close-up of what that's supposed to look like. So, alright, so it's in there like so, in its natural habitat. Yeah, so just the profile sticking out, but you can loosen this to adjust the height. It'll spin out to your desired height. Main reason why this is on here, obviously floors in bathrooms with tile, unless the tile is really good, oftentimes aren't super level. Yes, this allows you to level it on site, but also this is wood in a bathroom. Water, wood, not a great combination. This will keep it up off the floor. Obviously, if something crazy happens, like a flood in the bathroom, kind of SOL, but this will at least keep it off for like normal, the normal amount of water that should be in a bathroom. Yeah, just trying to keep the water away from the wood, and that's good. Water away from wood is good. Good.
So like I said, I start off the drilling with a spade bit, and then that naturally leaves a smaller hole where the spade bit ends for you to drill your hole for the threaded rod that goes into the hole that allows you to have some of that adjustment. So spade bit to conceal some of that foot, and then a regular bit, just drill bit for the threaded rod portion of that adjustable foot. And yeah, that's how you install these little feet.
feet done. Had to get my wife to help me flip this thing because it's super heavy even without the drawers in it. So got to flip back over, drawers installed. I played around with the reveals for a while just to get the reveals nice, even though I'm gonna have to do that again on site, just because once you level it again, things could get messed up. So but played around with the reveals. They do line up and they're good, so that means that on site I should be able to do the same thing. So, and then concrete is drying, or the stain. I did 2 coats of the stain. It got super black. Customer wants black. I said, I think I can make it black. So I did that. It's black. And I'm going to start the ceiling maybe tomorrow. A lot of work still to do. There's a ton of work on this project. And it's a big beast of a project too. So luckily I'm building this for my best friend, and it's going into his house. So he's going to help me lift it. Nate, you're going to help me lift it. Hey, also want to do a quick shout out and say thank you to everyone who's been watching these videos. I'm up to 200 subscribers. That's really cool. I didn't think that was going to happen at all. I didn't think people were going to be that interested in watching my videos. So super grateful that people are watching, and I'm glad that I can provide some source of entertainment. I love doing this kind of work, and I think it's cool to share that with people. So thank you, and please like and subscribe and follow me along on these projects because it's a lot of fun. Alright, I want to thank everyone for watching this video. It was a fun project. Obviously still a little bit more work to do on this top, but I got to get this delivered to the customer's house, so probably not going to show any of that, but make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll attach my Instagram handle in the description below, so yeah, make sure you check that out, and I'll post some pictures on there for an update on how it looks in the house installed. Yeah, so catch you guys next time.